Hey everyone, Jonathan Ray here, slingshotfutures.com, and welcome to the Daily Futures Market Outlook, where we take a look at our favorite markets and formulate an attack plan for tomorrow's trading. Tomorrow is going to be the 10th of the month already, pushing in, and, well, today we got a little bit of movement, but for the most part, still a lot of range bounds, a lot of slow. It felt like things were waking up a little bit today, and we did get a couple good bursts of movement, but for the most part, still fairly slow in the grand scheme of things. So fingers crossed we get to see things pick up just a little bit more than they have. But you know what? I'll take these kind of days over the couple days that we've had before at 6-point ranges on the S&P and all that fun stuff. So overall, looking at the markets across the board, we've got plenty of stuff to talk about. Before we do, though, let's jump on in, slingshotfutures.com, scroll down and click on the Daily Outlook newsletter. That way you can join the Outlook newsletter and you'll be notified every single time one of these videos comes out. Along with that, in the newsletter itself, we talk about all kinds of different stuff, from cryptocurrency, stocks, options, currency, forex, you name it, it's going to be in there at some point. Just a great newsletter to get your hands on if you haven't done so already. Along with that, make sure to click on the live trade room subscription and trial info, and you can sign up for a 3-day trial, so you can sit down with us in the live trade room, see what it's all about. You can see my screens, you can see the charts that we're looking at, the trades that we're looking at, etc. Really great way to kind of hang out with us for a couple days and see what's all going on and how we approach the markets. Now, of course, if you do enjoy it, you can sign up for a weekly or monthly subscription, and if you join as a full-fledged VIP member, you of course get the live trade room subscription as part of the package. Now, starting off on the euro here, the euro for the most part really range bound. We had an attempted breakdown right around 9 o'clock or so, and if we zoom out a little bit, we can see this is that area that we were talking about for several days now. A lot of buying pressure likely coming underneath those lows. It's such a weak angle, I can't even really draw it with the tool there. But they tried to break out through the lows, it failed, and then reversed right back up into that original range that it's been stuck in for several days now. And we're attempting to push our way towards the highs. Now, we haven't tested the highs yet, and it's actually been quite a while since we tested the highs. From back there, we missed it there, and now they're trying again, and so far they've missed it here as well. What I would really like to see is one more attempt at the upside to finish that cycle off and test that 17,886. See if we can get a little bit more movement to the upside to finish the range, and then from there, the sellers may want to try to come in, but for the most part, with that big failure at the bottom today, well, chances are we're going to have a little bit more of a bull scenario on our hands over the next couple days, and we may be pushing into some pretty good movement for the upside over the next, next couple days, going into next week even. It all depends on how firm the buyers are coming in at this area. So at this moment, I'm looking for a buy pullback down to around 17,555 for a bounce back up to finish the job off at 17,885. Looking over on gold, gold had a beautiful trending type of day, kind of continuing off of yesterday's quick little pop there in the afternoon, and they really just didn't stop. They kept going up and up and up and up. And with this overall breakout momentum to the upside, we are starting to get clues that we may be running out of a little steam here at the highs. Big blow-off candle at the end of a trend. The last time that happened, it stagnated for several hours, and the same thing happened here, stagnated for several hours before breaking out again. Now notice all of these earlier breakouts were one big candle, or for the most part, one big candle, and then it went into a range for a while. But this last breakout that we're dealing with was a nice consecutive move higher. It was a nice healthy drive. So with that continuation to the upside, not showing signs of exhaustion, this could either be a big trap on the highs before we go collapsing back down to the lows, or the buyers are finding a little bit of extra strength here. So what I'm looking for is a buy bounce off of 80.7, and that is the original kind of area where we broke out to before, along with a couple areas of, they used to be a resistance, and now they can act as support at that 80.7. And if we do break down a little bit further, 77 even is the next area with that big shelf that formed underneath there. Overall, though, looking for a pretty big move up today, and, well, we're just looking to buy some pullbacks if we can get some better prices. On crude oil, even though it was inventory day, we just had a gigantic range. Not really much accomplished on crude today. We are going to be ending the day relatively high on the day, so we are going to have a bull close, and the daily candle is going to look pretty big in terms of a rejection. We opened up here, and we're going to be closing somewhere up here, and that leaves a big whopping daily candle that's looking for some potential continuation to the upside. Now, those daily candles are very important, especially when we start zooming out and looking at the overall trend, and that trend has been going up for a long time, and those daily buyers may just be waiting for a strong candle to get things going, and today is definitely that day that's going to be closing on the high, closing nice and strong, and that could entice a lot of longer-term buyers to push the market up. Now, really what we're seeing here is a little bit of a struggle to break through the highs. At 49.62 is a big area of resistance. We have an upside objective for the buyers at 46.73 as well. And really, what I'm looking for is a pullback. I don't want to buy way up here. There's just not room for the trade to work. I would much rather see a deeper pullback down to an area that makes sense. Something, I mean, even as early as that prior swing low is a trap at 49.46. I would really love to see them cycle down for a range down to 49.10 to see if we can get a buy bounce off of there. But really, things considered, we have a bull market. We're closing a very strong bull daily candle. Everything is pointing to the upside. We just have to wait for the market to give us a good enough pullback to jump in on. 49.46 is the earliest, preferably somewhere around 39 or lower, and really around 49.10. I would be a very happy camper to buy into that kind of move. And then finally on the S&P mostly range bound for the better part of the day. We are breaking out at the end of the day here, and that will be closing on a high, and that's going to leave a very big candle for the daily here as well. Opening here, and then we're going to be closing up here. The daily candle is going to have a monster rejection of the lows and a very high close, and that could definitely entice a lot of longer-term buyers. Once again, zooming out, we can kind of see that we're really just cycling off of the bottom of that range that we've been talking about for the last probably couple weeks now, and we've been stuck down there for a long time. And this gigantic bull candle that we're going to be getting on the daily could easily spark a lot of long-term buying interest if we can get those buyers enticed enough to jump on in. Now, in the short term, we are a little bit overextended to the upside. I don't really want to buy directly into the channel highs. Now, we are seemingly holding the channel highs. We're sitting on top of monthly resistance, so everything is looking pretty good, but I want to buy a pullback, right? We have this overall failure from the bottom. We got a nice breakaway, good pullback. We continued up. Again, I want to see a good pullback and then continuation up. So I'm looking for buying pressure at 68.25 down to 65 even for that push right back up towards the highs again to get things fired off and all cylinders towards the north side to get us back up to those highs again. Overall, though, really strong market, and now we're getting one heck of a bull daily candle, that's for sure. So it'll be very interesting to see what they want to do tomorrow with this kind of candle formation. So that's going to do it for the outlook. Now, taking a look at the news for tomorrow, we do have some stuff going on. At least it's not a completely empty day. We do have tomorrow morning out of the UK, the manufacturing production for June forecasted flat at a 0%. The previous was a negative 0.2%, and that's at 4:30 tomorrow morning. At 8:30 out of the US, we have the PPI for July forecasted at 0.1%. The previous was the same at 0.1%. So not a whole lot of news, but at least we have some news tomorrow. Fingers crossed that'll be enough to keep the markets going. But for now, we just got to play it a little bit safe, assume that it's going to be a little slower like it has been. And really it just comes down to, like we always say, make the plan, trade the plan, follow those rules, and you'll be A-okay. Until next time, we'll see y'all then.